Recently on one of my blogs, I had somebody ask me, I'm my income has plateaued, and I no matter what I do, I can't seem to get past this thing. How do I break through and grow my income? Well, the individual didn't give me a lot to work with. I didn't have any idea what type of business they're in. If they work for somebody else, have a fixed salary, do they are they entrepreneurs? They have their own companies. I didn't get a lot of data, so I can only answer by the variables that might play a role. If you're working for somebody else and you're on a fixed income, um, you can document what you do that is a value to the company. And every time you see a clear indication of something that's contributing to the company, just document. So you have some objective stats that prove that you're making a difference in the company. Then, whatever your salary has been and whatever your designated income is, constantly ask what else you can do, what other additional services you can provide, and document the additional services and provisions that you do. Educate yourself with specialties to figure out how to do it more effectively and efficiently, and show that what you're now doing compared to what they started with the salary is more contributed to the company and becomes more valuable to the company and almost indispensable to the company. So you can document. So when you go and ask for more income from the company, you have a legitimate reason why you're providing more income to the company. If the company's margins are 30% and you can bring another 100%, well, you deserve a little bit of a portion of that, but you can never deserve more than the profit margin of the company. They can't just give you more than what they're getting. So get an idea of what you're actually providing so you know the real value. Find out what your real costs are to the company so you know what the return versus the investment and labor cost they have on you, and all the cost. I mean, your space cost, your parking cost, every cost. Know all your costs, know what your return is, look at what you can do to add to it. And you can, if you're working for somebody else, you can then leverage opportunities to make yourself more valuable. But don't expect something for nothing. Don't expect to get more money just because you've been working there. Don't expect to get more money just because you're a nice guy or gal. Go there because you're producing more for the company. There's a profit margin of the company. The business is designed to go and be of service to people and make a profit. And if you're not making more profit for them, don't expect more income from the company. And realize the repercussions. If you make more, does that spill over and make it where now everybody else is going to expect more, and then that undermines the margins? Think it through and provide more value and become indispensable to the company if you're working for somebody else. If you're working for yourself, just know your income is going to be based on how well you fill a need. And if you're projecting assumptions about what the market's needing and it's not having a demand for your need, you're not really serving people. You think you are. You think you got this great product, service, or idea that you want to bring to people. But if it's not actually meeting people's needs and there's no demand for it, well, then it's not meeting people's needs. And your income is proportional to how well you meet people's needs. If there's no demand, there's no income. And you can modify your product, service, or idea, modify your advertising and your marketing and sales to try to meet those needs more effectively. All of that will be helpful to generate more income. But unless you're serving more people and serving people more per person, don't expect more income. But the question is, you can also go in there and look at what you can do to reduce cost or what you can do to reach out more to more people. I would be asking, what is it that I can do today that can help me serve ever greater numbers of people? And I would look at what else can I do it more effectively and efficiently so I can increase my margins. I would be doing that on an everyday basis. And I wouldn't be sitting there and wallowing it that, saying, well, this something outside me is causing this. That may be only true under acute emergencies like a COVID outbreak or something like that temporarily. But that's the real adaptable individual that's caring about people is going to immediately adapt and find a new way of serving the new needs. And they're not attached to an old way. They're adaptable to new needs. Stress is the inability to adapt to a changing environment. And if you're adapting, you have less stress. So find out what the needs are. Go and ask the customers. Really identify what it is, because if there's a demand, you know you're meeting it. If there's no demand, there's not. And then make sure you're not blowing the use of your money. Your hierarchy of values will dictate how you spend your money. If you keep spending more money than you're making and you don't prioritize your spending and really budget it down and get it within your means and save and force some savings and investments, you'll be working your life for money and not have money working for you. Anyway, I just want to share that. I didn't know if you were working for somebody else or on your own, so I hit it with from both angles. But just know that the more service you provide to the customer or to the company, the more income you're honored to have. So give yourself permission to go and provide more value to either the customer or to the company, ultimately to the customer.